Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So I set out to release 3 games this year and I already released the first one. So all I have to do now is release the second one by August and I will be fine. Yeah, no time to waste. Let's get into making a game right away. So since time is not on my side, I decided to make a simple management game that also has a little bit of cookie clicker elements in it. The idea is that you can finish it in a really short time, and I drew up this little sketch. You have these little wizard guys, and you have to summon them by tapping the crystal and clicking a summon button of some kind. The idea is that it's a really short game, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and when the crystal is leveled up enough, you have finished the game. So yeah, I started out by chopping up these sprites and dragging them into Unity, and then I added some basic agent behavior to them. Nothing special, I just added a collider and have the rigid body move left and right, so they wouldn't walk off the screen. Then I needed some way to let you summon the wizards. So in typical cookie clicker style, I made it so you can tap the screen and the crystal will light up by every tap. And then when the crystal is lit up all the way, you can click the buy button and the wizard will be summoned. I achieved the lighting up of the crystal by adding a simple overlay and keeping track of a charge as a float from 0 to 1. 0 meaning the crystal has no charge and 1 meaning the crystal is fully charged. Then I just mapped the crystal's charge to the overlay's alpha channel and I had this nice effect. Next up I added a couple of summoning effects. I used an event system for this. Basically this allows me to do all kinds of stuff when a wizard is bought or when anything happens without cluttering the code of the buy button. Then I added the water mage, but for some reason it was still invisible. Aha! Turns out it was just hiding underground. After that, having the wizards walk around just back and forth was a little bit boring, so I added a simple task system. The idea is that the wizards will have the same basic kind of behavior, so they will be walking, standing and casting, but they would differ in the way that they perform the cast. So for instance, the druid would summon saplings and the water mage would summon clouds that would rain on them. Then after the saplings are watered, the druids can make them grow again and we have a full life generation system. Before we move on, I just wanted to mention, a really low percentage of you guys is actually subscribed to my channel. Look at this. Only 99.999% of my viewers are subscribed, which means probably only you are not subscribed yet. So please subscribe to the channel if you want. It would really help me out. So now that all the basic stuff was in place, it was time to add a leveling system for the crystal. Each level of the crystal has its own color. So the way I would indicate the level is I have a sequence of sprites added to the crystal, and the crystal will always keep track of 2 sprites. One is the current sprite, which is the current level of the crystal, and the other one is the next level of the crystal. It keeps track of this sprite in another game object, and I use a simple mask to display the next sprite level as a part of the current sprite, so it looks like it's filling up. I also added a draggable behavior to the wizards. This means that you can drag them anywhere, and I made it so that if you drag them into the crystal will gain a little bit of experience. The crystal will take a little bit longer to level up each level. This means that the crystal will level up a lot in the beginning and it will level up a little bit slower later on. Then I added the experience orbs, which will spawn whenever a tree is grown. And once again I used an event system to listen to when the trees are growing, and then it will summon an experience orb when it does. I use Unity's particle system to make the particles for the experience orb, but I'm sure no one is too hyped about this particle system anyway, so let's just move on. The experience orbs are simple, they just head towards the crystal and they will generate experience when they touch it. Next, I also made it so that every button has a buy limit, so you cannot have infinite mages walking around. After that I figured that some speed buttons would be nice, so I added those. They just simply manipulate the timescale whenever they are pressed. I was also able to reuse this code for a pause button, which simply sets the timescale to 0. So the game was coming along quite nicely, but I needed something extra to do. So I added in some enemies. The enemies are the snails and they will eat the wizards when they touch them. So of course I added a way for the player to counter the snails. So I added the fire mage. The fire mage has the same basic behavior as every other mage, but this one summons fireballs if a snail is in front of it. At this point it was really nice having the basic outline for the task system, because adding different types of mages was really easy this way. So yeah, at this point the game was practically done. All I needed to do was add in the last couple of pieces. So the first thing I added was the necromancer, which will harvest the fully grown trees. Then I added some action buttons. One of the actions is smite, which will kill every unit on the field, but it will give you experience for every unit. Next I also made the refill button, which will randomly summon a bunch of wizards until you reached your max. And I also made the escape button. The escape button finishes the game, so this plays an outro animation, which I also added. Oh, and before I forget, I also added this day and night cycle based on some feedback from my friend Andrea, who playtested the game for me. And yeah, I really like looking at the game now. It somehow feels magical. And that brings me to the music and the sound effects. I added in a bunch of sound effects, and I also added in background music for the game. And I also made a piece of music specially for the outro animation, which I will not be showing because I don't want to spoil the ending. So yeah, now all that's left to do is upload the game to the App Store and the Google Play Store. Of course, this task always takes a little bit longer than I expect, but yeah, by the time this video goes live, the game should be up and running, and I will have put links in the description down below. So if you want to check out my game, then feel free to go to the links down below and try it out. It would really help me. It's completely free, so yeah, have fun.